After cooking a full Thanksgiving dinner alone, I was told to eat in the garage because real family eats at the table. My husband closed the door behind me without a word. I sat on a milk crate, eating cold mashed potatoes. When I got up to leave, my car was gone. My sister-in-law had taken it. So I walked 12 miles home and then. My name is Sarah, I'm 31, and I live in small-town Nebraska. I work as a custodian for Lincoln Elementary School. Not glamorous, but steady. I don't drive a BMW, don't wear designer clothes, and I've never been to Paris. I just work hard, keep our house running, and try to stay out of drama. That used to be enough. I've been married to Marcus for 9 years. He's the type who wants everything to look picture perfect on social media. Hairstyled just right, clothes coordinated, house spotless when company comes over. But behind closed doors, he barely lifts a finger. I do the grocery shopping, the cooking, fix the leaky faucets, and handle every holiday meal. Every Thanksgiving, I used to get some help, until last year, when I did absolutely everything alone. Let me be crystal clear. I made that entire feast from scratch. I spent 2 full days cooking. Got up early Wednesday morning, brinned the 20-pound turkey, made fresh cranberry sauce, rolled out pie crusts by hand. Thursday morning, I was up at 5:30, prepping everything while Marcus was too tired to help. Said he had a headache and needed to rest. But I could hear him laughing on the phone with his brother in the bedroom. His whole family was coming over. His parents, his 2 sisters Jessica and Amy, their husbands, and all their kids. That's 12 people, not counting Marcus and me. I was cooking for 14 people. 14, all by myself. They started arriving around noon. I was still carving the turkey when they burst through the front door like they owned the place. Jessica threw her purse right on top of my kitchen counter where I had my cutting board set up. "Wow, you're still cooking," she said with this fake laugh. "We're starving out here. Not a thank you, not an offer to help. Nothing." I brought everything out to the dining room, the perfectly set table that Marcus had apparently decorated like something from Better Homes and Gardens. Candles, name cards, cloth napkins, the works. They were all already sitting there, talking and laughing like I didn't exist. I stood there holding a tray of fresh dinner rolls, waiting for someone to even look at me. Then they clapped, actually clapped, like I was some hired caterer instead of family. I set the food down, went back to the kitchen, and grabbed a plate for myself. When I came back, I pulled out the empty chair at the end of the table. That's when Marcus looked up with this sweet, fake smile. "Oh," he said, like he'd just remembered something important. "We set you up in the garage. We figured you'd want to relax after all that cooking." I didn't understand at first. I just stood there holding my plate, staring at him. Then his sister Amy chimed in with a grin. "Yeah, we thought you'd want some quiet time. Let us enjoy our family dinner." Dave, Jessica's husband, actually laughed out loud. "Yeah, the real family eats at the table." I looked around that dining room, waiting for someone, anyone, to tell him that was wrong. To say I belonged there too. Marcus just nodded and pointed toward the garage door like it was the most natural thing in the world. I thought it had to be a joke. Opened the door expecting to find them all laughing at the prank. But no, Marcus had actually set up a folding card table in the freezing garage. 1 plastic chair, 1 paper napkin, 1 paper plate. He closed the door behind me without saying a word. I sat in that cold garage on a wobbly chair, eating my perfectly cooked Thanksgiving dinner that had already gone cold. The mashed potatoes tasted like paste. The turkey was dry, and all I could hear through that door was them laughing and talking like I'd never existed. I stared at the concrete wall for 20 minutes, trying not to completely lose it. Then I stood up, grabbed my jacket, and decided I was done. I needed air. I was going to drive to my old apartment, the one I still kept because I rented it cheap from a friend. Just a little backup plan I never thought I'd actually need. But when I stepped outside, my Honda was gone. At first, I panicked. Thought maybe someone had stolen it. Then my neighbor Mrs. Chen from across the street came out to get her mail. "Hey Sarah," she called. "Thought you had a designated driver today. Saw Dave speeding off in your car about an hour ago like he was running from the cops." Didn't believe her at first. Called Marcus from the driveway. He didn't answer. Texted, "Where is my car?" His reply came back instantly, "Relax. Dave needed to get something for the kids." I told him he could borrow it. That was my breaking point. He'd given away my car, didn't ask permission, didn't give me a heads up.
Just handed over my keys like I didn't matter. I didn't reply. I didn't scream. I didn't bang on that door demanding to be let back in. I just turned around and started walking. 12 miles home. Took me almost 4 hours in the cold. The whole time, my phone buzzed with messages from Marcus. Where are you? You're making a scene. You're ruining Thanksgiving. When I finally made it back to my old apartment, I didn't respond to any of them. Just shut the door, turned off the lights, and sat in complete silence. Then I blocked his number. That night, lying in my old bed, I thought about every single thing I'd ignored over the years. The way Marcus always rolled his eyes when I talked about work. How his family constantly made jokes about me being just a janitor, like I wasn't good enough for the precious son. The way they all walked over me, and how I kept doing everything, cooking, cleaning, organizing, hoping that one day Marcus would finally stand up for me. He never did, but I was done being the quiet wife who kept the peace. I started planning that night. Didn't sleep a wink, just lay there staring at the ceiling, but for the first time in years, I felt something like hope. I'd been doing everything anyway, now I'd do it for me. The next morning, I went to work like nothing had happened. Put on my uniform, carried my supply cart, mopped the hallways at Jefferson Elementary. Didn't tell anyone what happened. Didn't answer Marcus's messages, even though I could see them piling up. By the end of the day, he'd left 8 voicemails. They started sweet, "Hey babe, can we talk? I think there was a misunderstanding." Then came the guilt, "I don't know why you're acting like this. My parents are really hurt. You embarrassed me." Then the anger, "If you think you're going to disappear and make me look like the bad guy, you're crazy." That last one, I played it 3 times. Because I realized something, I wasn't making him look like anything. He'd done that all by himself. I let a week go by without responding. On day 8, Marcus showed up at my work. Walked right into the school office like he owned the place, demanding to see me. Made such a scene that I could hear him yelling at poor Mrs. Rodriguez from down the hall. I stepped out and told him we could talk in the parking lot. The second we got outside, he started crying. Actual tears. "I don't understand why you're doing this," he said, voice shaking. "It was just Thanksgiving. You're blowing this way out of proportion." I looked at him and asked, "Did you think about me at all that day?" He blinked like I'd asked him to solve calculus. "Of course I did. That's why we gave you the garage. You worked so hard, we thought you'd want some peace and quiet." "No," I said. "You gave me the garage because you didn't want your family to see me at the table. You were ashamed of me." That shut him up real quick. He crossed his arms and muttered, "You're being paranoid." "I'm being used," I told him. "You had me cook that entire meal, then threw me out like garbage." Then he said the thing that burned every bridge between us. He actually had the nerve to mutter, "Well, you do kind of act like the help sometimes." I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I just nodded, turned around, and walked back into that school building. He stood in the parking lot yelling after me, calling me dramatic, saying I'd regret walking away. He had no idea what was coming. That night, I started gathering documents. I'd been the one paying our mortgage for 3 years. Marcus was on the title, but I had every receipt, every bank statement, every proof of payment. Called a lawyer, quiet woman named Patricia that my friend recommended. Sharp as a tack. Told her everything. She asked, "Do you want out, or do you want to make sure he understands what he lost first?" I said, "Both." Over the next month, I started moving money. Nothing illegal, just smart. Stopped putting my paycheck in our joint account. Opened a new one in my name only. Cancelled the credit card we shared since my name was primary. Left just enough in our joint account to cover the bills. Then I changed all the passwords on our streaming accounts. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, everything. Marcus texted asking why Netflix was asking him to log in again. I ignored it. But the real bombshell came from an unexpected source. One of the teachers at school, Miss Patterson, pulled me aside one day and asked if everything was okay. "Why?" I asked. She showed me her phone. "Marcus posted something on Facebook. Says you abandoned him on Thanksgiving for no reason. He's been telling people at Murphy's bar that you're having some kind of breakdown." That pissed me off. He was already spinning the story, making me look crazy. I went home that night and created a fake Facebook account to check his page. Sure enough, there it was, a picture of him and his family around that Thanksgiving table. No mention of the garage. No mention of kicking me out. Just, "So grateful for family this year." Some people don't understand what that means. The comments were full of his friends saying how sorry they were, how I must be going through something. He'd replied to one, "She's been distant for months. I don't think she loves me anymore." He was setting up his story for divorce court. So I decided to dig deeper. I hired a private investigator. I know that sounds extreme, but something felt off. The way his family had so confidently excluded me. The way Dave felt comfortable enough to take my car without asking. I felt like I was the last person to know something that everyone else already understood. And I was right. 1 week later, I got the report. Marcus was seeing someone, not recently, for over 8 months. It wasn't just emotional. There were hotel receipts, photographs, a secret phone number. The whole thing. And here's the part that made me laugh out loud. It was Dave. Yeah, that Dave. Jessica's husband. The same guy who took my car on Thanksgiving. The same man who said, real family eats at the table, was apparently eating a lot more than turkey that night. I read that investigators report twice. Every disgusting detail laid out in black and white. Hotel receipts from the Comfort Inn outside town. Phone records showing hundreds of calls. Pictures of them holding hands in parking lots. Text messages that made my stomach turn. Marcus was sleeping with his sister's husband. For 8 months. That explained everything. Why his family treated me like a joke. Why Marcus didn't care about my feelings. Why Dave felt comfortable enough to take my car like it belonged to him. I sat in my apartment holding that folder, and I started laughing. Not because it was funny, but because I finally saw the whole picture. I was never part of that family. I was just the woman cooking dinner while they all laughed behind my back. But now I had everything I needed to destroy them both. Just when I thought this story couldn't get more twisted, it did. I called the investigator and asked if he'd looked into Jessica, Dave's wife. He said no, but he could. I told him to do it. 3 days later, I got another folder. Turns out Jessica had known about the affair for months. But she wasn't confronting Marcus or Dave. She was using it. She'd already hired a divorce lawyer. Had copies of all the same evidence I did. Had signed statements from friends who'd seen Marcus and Dave together. She was quietly preparing to take Dave for everything he had. The investigator said Jessica was playing a longer game, waiting until after the holidays to file so she could catch Dave when he was financially vulnerable. She just hadn't told anyone yet. Not even Marcus. I didn't feel sorry for her. She'd stood by and watched her family humiliate me. Let me sit in that garage eating alone while she laughed with everyone else. But now she wanted to play victim. No way. So I called her. Saturday morning, she answered sounding half asleep. Jessica, this is Sarah. We need to talk about your husband and mine. Long silence. Then, I know. Where do you want to meet? We met in the parking lot of an abandoned Blockbuster. No cameras, no nosy coffee shop customers. Just 2 folding chairs and some McDonald's I brought to make it look casual. I laid out everything I knew. She wasn't shocked, wasn't even upset. Just angry. Not at me, not really at Dave. She was mad that Marcus had gotten there first. I thought I was the only one getting screwed over, she said. I told her we both were, but we could both win. We made a deal that day. I'd give her my copy of the evidence if she gave me hers. We'd both file for divorce the same week, same time, different counties. Blindside them completely. For the first time in months, I felt something like power. But then came the biggest twist of all. 2 days after Jessica and I made our deal, Marcus showed up at my apartment. Knocked like he had every right to be there. I opened the door just a crack. He looked terrible, pale, dark circles under his eyes, hair a mess. I need to talk to you, he said. Please. I stepped outside and closed the door. What do you want? He didn't waste time. I'm pregnant. Wait, what? That didn't make sense. I stared at him, confused. I mean, he stumbled over his words. Dave's pregnant. With my baby. I couldn't speak, couldn't move, just stared at Marcus while he kept talking. I know the timing is terrible. I know I messed up. But this changes everything, Sarah. Dave's going to leave Jessica. We can finally be together, but I need you to not make this messy with the divorce. I need you to just let me go quietly. The audacity was breathtaking. He'd humiliated me, cheated on me, kicked me out of my own Thanksgiving dinner, and now he wanted me to make his new life convenient. Does Jessica know? I asked. He shook his head fast. God number. And she can't. Not yet. Dave's going to tell her after the holidays. I almost laughed. You want me to keep your secret? Just for a few weeks. Please. I don't want to hurt anyone more than I already have. I looked at this man I'd been married to for 9 years. This man I'd cooked for, cleaned for, supported through everything. And I realized I didn't recognize him at all. You didn't come here to make things right, I said. You came because you're scared. You think I'm going to ruin your perfect little plan. Then I walked back inside and slammed the door in his face. He stood there for 10 minutes, then finally left. And I knew right then I had him exactly where I wanted him. The first domino fell 2 weeks later. Jessica filed for divorce. Her lawyer dropped the bomb on Dave on a Tuesday morning while he was at work. The papers included everything: texts, photos, hotel receipts. She was demanding full custody of their kids, alimony, and the house. Dave called Marcus in a panic. Marcus showed up at my apartment that night, pounding on the door. "You told her," he screamed. "You gave her the evidence. You ruined everything." I opened the door just long enough to say, "I know about the pregnancy. I know about Dave, and I know that baby's going to destroy both your lives." His face went completely white. "You told Jessica about the baby." "Not yet," I said. "But I will if you don't stay away from me." Slammed the door again. The next day, I filed for divorce. My lawyer timed it perfectly. The papers were served the same day Dave got hit with his custody restrictions. Marcus was stunned. He'd thought I was still considering working things out. The truth exploded fast. His mother called me screaming, saying I was destroying the family. I sent her a text with a single photo, Marcus and Dave holding hands in the Comfort Inn parking lot. She never contacted me again. The fallout was swift and brutal. Marcus moved back in with his parents after I got a restraining order. Dave got fired from his job at the auto plant when his boss found out about the affair. Jessica took everything in the divorce: house, savings, even the dog. Marcus tried to keep up the lie about wanting to be with Dave, but Dave wasn't interested in playing house with a pregnant man when his life was falling apart. The relationship imploded within a month. When Marcus gave birth 6 months later, Dave wasn't there. He was living in a studio apartment across town, paying child support to Jessica and working at a gas station. Marcus was back with his parents, no job, no friends, just a baby and a mountain of regret. He still texts me sometimes. I don't block him. I want him to see that I read his messages and choose not to respond every single time. I still live in my old apartment. It's small, but it's peaceful. I fixed it up: new paint, new floors, new furniture. Bought myself a new car too. Nothing fancy, but it's mine, paid for with cash. And every Thanksgiving now, I do the same thing. I cook dinner for myself at my own table, in my own home, with respect I earned by walking away from people who didn't deserve me. The garage was the best thing that ever happened to me. It showed me exactly who I was dealing with, and exactly who I could become when I stopped accepting less than I deserved.